So today we're checking out this note. Before we get started, an interesting fact about this note is that it was found in Kurt Cobain's wallet, April the 8th, 1994, the day that Kurt Cobain died. The note was taken from Cobain's wallet that day and logged into evidence in the Seattle Police Department case file. So the note was never made public. However, back in 2014, the note was made public by the Seattle Police Department when they were taking another look at the case on the 20th anniversary of Kurt's death. Along with this note, they also released dozens of never-before-seen police photos from the scene. And those ones are floating around the internet. Many people have seen them. So before we get into the real story behind this note, we'll just quickly read it out. It says, "Do you, Kurt Cobain, take Courtney Michelle Love to be your lawful, shredded wife, even when she's a bitch with zits and siphoning all your money for doping and will you promise to her at least once a week? Okay." So when this note initially came out, people thought, oh, well, that kind of looks like Kurt's handwriting. Wow, this must mean Kurt and Courtney really hated one another and some serious bad stuff going on there between them, right? But there's one problem with all that. Kurt did not write this note. The note is actually a joke, and it was written by Courtney Love. Now, two independent sources have attributed the handwriting to Courtney Love. She even emailed the Seattle Times to claim responsibility for it. And as you notice there, the note was written on stationery from San Francisco's Phoenix Hotel. And according to one person who worked at the Phoenix Hotel, Cobain and Love would regularly stay at that hotel together. In fact, they stayed at that Phoenix Hotel when Nirvana were playing a New Year's gig alongside Pearl Jam and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And apparently Cobain and Love would exchange side notes like this all the time. Just a funny thing they would do between themselves as a couple. So no, it was not Kurt who wrote this note putting his wife down as some had thought. Yes, a lot of things had gone really wrong for Kurt in 1994. That is well documented. He and Courtney may have been having troubles and things just weren't going well in general at that time, right? But Kurt had always loved Courtney and he did not want anybody speaking bad about her. I mean, just listen to that phone message that he left on that journalist's answering machine, Victoria Clark, when she was going to write something bad about them. Check this out.
If anything comes out in this book, that hurts my wife, I'll f***ing hurt you.
And there is even further evidence behind it that the note was just a big joke, and that in fact Courtney indeed did write it. I have a clip of audio here. This is Mary Lou Lord. She had a brief relationship with Kurt just before Kurt and Courtney got together, and she talks about that note here.
That I don't know if you've ever seen this note that says, "I, Kurt Cobain, take Courtney Love in shittiness," or in, I don't know. It was like this marriage proposal or something.
Yeah, I remember
and it was,
saying that.
Right, and it was Courtney that wrote that. And it came from, it's interesting, because that came from, I think the hotel was called the Phoenix.
Mm.
So the big thing behind this note is that when it initially came out, everybody thought, whoa, well, Kurt really hates Courtney. Look at all these really bad things he's saying about Courtney. And we all know those conspiracy theories out there going around about Courtney Love. Not going into any of that, but this note just played right into that, right? But just to set the record straight about this, if it hadn't already been, there is no meaning to this note at all. Kurt didn't even write it. So there it goes, guys. Thanks heaps as always for tuning in. Be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you next time.